morning, folks. I had to take a work call this morning. How vulgar is that? Well, actually, I had to make a work call. Considering as it's work hours, I think that's appropriate. Typically, I commute before or after work hours, but today we're not going to the office. So that's a bit. What's big today? The Chiefs are, for the third time in 5 years, Super Bowl champions. That was a big night. An early morning for me. Fun stuff. I'm excited to see Kansas City in the airport today. I think it's going to be as festive as it was last week when I was there. All the Chiefs things. I wondered if they would pop the balloons and take everything down in case we lost. I guess I'll find out today whether they will do that. This little van here is interesting. It's called a Ford Transit Connect. I've often thought of getting one. You can get a look at it there. See, this is a small business van. All-American gutter. Okay? Maybe they can fit gutters in the van. I'm skeptical. But they get terrific gas mileage, and if you buy the right vans, they have 2 captain seats and a bench seat, and then the cargo space behind, kind of like a minivan, but a much more affordable option. It can be used for business. It can be business in the back and party in the front, so to speak. And they're very popular in the business community. So I've thought about it. I don't think it would be my wife's favorite vehicle parked in the garage or yard or driveway, whatever. But certainly something that's been on my mind. Now, I happen to be over-vehicled at the moment, so I'm in great shape. I won't be buying any more vehicles, knock on the dashboard, anytime soon. So, as I suspected, people are not thrilled with the live stream angle of the camera, so that's a no boss. We're not going to do that, probably. But I have always thought that if I was in a strange place or witnessing something remarkable, that, I just open up YouTube and go live, and it might not be content appropriate for the channel, but it's at least a way to preserve something that might not otherwise. So here's what you need to know if you're the administrator of my estate, because I'm filming a mass shooting event or something. Listen up. Those of you who know me personally, or even not, this is good information. So someone who is filming YouTube Live. The live stream is live, but it's lost, so to speak. After it's over, if you weren't watching it, you're not going to get it back. So if nobody watches the live stream, or if one person says, "What was that?" you have to go into the YouTube account to get the original source file. That's what I'm trying to communicate about myself or any. This could actually be a big deal in future years as actual revenue generating content creators pass away and things. Figuring out their accounts and having a custodian, it's just as important as any business asset in that situation. But for me, a civilian, non-revenue generating person, if I caught something cool in my last moments on YouTube Live, the only way to catch the footage or the evidence, if it's a crime or something, it would be to actually hit into my YouTube account, the Commute to the Gym YouTube account specifically, and find the private version of the live stream. Once you found that, then you can upload it to the internet, download it, maybe whatever your options are in that situation. And that's how you recover what exactly I was filming. If I'm, being accosted or watching the skyscraper fall to the ground or something and running for life, that's how you find the footage. So something to think about for everybody, really, is that incidents, including accidents, they're all being captured by something. And the trick is how to find and preserve that evidence. It could be evidence stored in a watch. It could be stored in a phone. It could be stored in a lot of places. And many of these companies, they are committed to privacy for marketing reasons. And let me tell you, they are often, when pushed, committed to privacy. I mean, I was watching a documentary about a death investigation, and the only paperwork this dead body had was a source code to a game online. And it was a unique identifying source code that is playing all the time. So the people who play this game, and it's not a game you or I would know, it's only played by computer programmers predominantly, and others who are advanced in IT functions and programs. So, amateur sleuths, they scour this server and they find the active code. And again, we're trying to identify a dead body, okay? This is a police investigation in Florida. They find this dead guy who was hiking in the woods, deeply emaciated, not far from civilization, yet carrying a lot of money. It made no sense. He starved to death 6 miles from a gas station. And near an interstate. In a tent. Very bizarre. I never did watch the end of it, so I don't want to have it spoiled, but fascinating. So as a part of this investigation, they go to the game creators and say, listen, we've identified this source code. It's the same code that was handwritten in a notebook that this dead body had. Can you tell us the identity of the person whose account made this code? We're trying to identify this guy, find his next of kin, so forth. And the game owners or administrators said, no, we won't do it. We're not going to give you that information. I'm blown away, kind of. And you hear stories about people trying to access their dead loved ones' Facebook pages and stuff, and it's not easy. It may not even be possible. It's you almost just have to have the email address and reset the password. That's really what I understand about all you can do to recover those things. And even then, I don't know if it's an authorized, is somebody's girlfriend authorized to do that? Is it the administrator of the estate? I don't know. Those are things outside of my legal career, for sure. But a lot of interesting things that come about between life and technology these days that kind of are interesting. That was their one clue to finding this guy was, he'd been hiking the Appalachian Trail, right, from somewhere up north to somewhere down south, like the eastern seaboard area, and he met a lot of people, hikers. I didn't know this, but apparently hikers talk to one another and share some company from time to time, and they go by false names or handles, if you will, like a CB radio user or something. And so this guy would go around with a handle, and then he also had to, they located his tent, right? They located the person who sold him the tent. They find the store. It's in Georgia. And I think it was Georgia. And the owner went through his purchase records and said, you know what? The guy paid cash. Darn. And he goes, wait a second. He would have to have stayed at this hostel next door. I guess it was a remote area off the trails. So your first night, I guess, before you have your tent, you got to sleep somewhere. So this hostel, cabin, bunkhouse, whatever, they required you to sign in using a full name. The guy signed in with a name that was apparently not real. At least not his real name, although it sounded like a non-made-up name. It really, if it was a made-up name, it was the best made-up name ever, because it just sounded very real. And they looked up the people with that name, and they were all, you know, there were people out there who had this name. It wasn't just made up. So, just a bizarre mystery that I hope to learn the answer to. My understanding is they eventually did identify the guy. And supposedly he had a history in New York City or something. Sort of like me, I have a history in New York City that I go there every month, apparently. Have I been there this month? I don't think so. But I think I will be going this month. I have a ticket to take me there this month. The question is exactly when. And that is open for right now. Been a frustrating few months in a sense, but also dynamic. This is a fascinating sign on this dump truck here. Pan over in a second. Warning, stay back 200 feet. Not responsible for broken windshields. I don't know how that's possible. Oh, shoot! Doggone it, man. Why would you do that? That just cost me a 1/4 inch of brake pad. Freaking moron. Why didn't that guy just use his accelerator? I mean, sometimes I think people want to get into a crash. Looking back, I could have gotten over. This is a very interesting case study in reaction timing and all of this. The left lane was open. But all I could see is the fact that I'm going to hit this moron. I can't wait to go back through the footage here. There's a case to be made. I did something wrong. Maybe I should have paid more attention. You know, it was confusing the way the lane ended. But I don't think it's my responsibility to, I don't know, I can't get into a crash. I got a plane leaving in an hour. Okay, it's not an hour, it's less than 2 hours anyway. Sheesh. That like guilty, I'm going to drive extra fast now because I feel bad. Thing going. I can't believe these brakes stopped me. Good night. What was that guy trying to do? Who even goes to Parallel Parkway? What the heck, man? I think it was a woman based on the hair I could see in the car door. Then again, I have hair that might be mistaken for a woman's these days. You gotta keep the beard now because it's so long. The last time I had hair this long, I was probably in either junior high school or high school. One of the two. And I have a particular memory. I'd go without haircuts for a while because it was an imposition and it was annoying, and I just never cared so much about hair. So my hair was all grown out, and I had a cap on, and I was between the ages of 13 and 15, most likely. I was, of course, a very small frame, thin, young person. My dad brought me somewhere, and I had a cap on. And the guy goes, "Oh, and you brought your daughter with you." You brought your daughter with you. And I'm like, oh. And obviously, this is an embarrassing minute for the guy. I still remember the guy. I remember his name. How do you forget the person's name who did that to you? Up close to me, he goes, "Oh, well, you had your hair all stuffed up in your hat there. I thought you were a girl or something, you know." That was, you'd have think that kind of thing would have sent me to the weight room, but it never did. Maybe I wish it had. Everybody always told me, you gotta hit a weight room. You'd make so much progress if you did. Never appealed to me very much. I took a course on it in college for the sole reason that it was a full hour of PE that I could accomplish in one fell swoop. So most of the courses in college, you got to get 2 hours of PE credit, and almost all the courses were only a half of a credit hour. You could take board games and bowling and all this. I said, you know what? I want to get these done. So in the first year or semester, maybe first semester, I took 2 1-hour PE courses. One was ballroom dance, because it was a full credit hour. And the other one was strength and conditioning, because it was a full credit hour. I used machines and filled, it was all very unnatural to me. I didn't like it. Filling out forms and exerting myself, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me. Why people do it, I don't know, it just didn't click. Fast forward about 6 years, and I'm sitting at a desk reading Financial Times, and my arms start to hurt from holding a piece of paper, a newspaper. And I said, that was it. That was my moment when I said, no, I can't get sore arms from holding a sheet of paper above my table. That's absurd. So I started with soup cans, actually, because I had a couple of cans of soup or beans or whatever. And I started practicing form and lifting in my living room, and then I graduated up to bigger weights, and then I didn't have to worry about being strong anymore. But it didn't come to me at a young age, no. I was a very, very lean, thin person. I had problems making weight minimums to do activities when I was, 15. Teenage years, I had problems. You had to be at least 115 pounds or whatever. I didn't have the weight on me because I had no muscle mass whatsoever. Other than, maybe I was fairly active, but I didn't have a good sport. I didn't have a reason to train, so it was just, farm work, which I was probably not very good at either for that reason. So, that was an interesting, and then once I had those muscles built, they go down and up, and time to time they fluctuate, but it's a world of difference from where I started. And even now, if I'm folding clothes, I'll start to feel a little burn after, several loads of folding. And I think, it's if I just did a little bit of regular activity with lifting and training, I probably wouldn't have this problem. It all evens out, right? People do their push-ups and then they don't do their push-ups. If you did it all the time, you'd probably tear up your joints and everything else. You can only use your body so much. I'm currently having a health situation. It's not a real situation, but it's enough of a situation for me to think about. I have a business where I track KPIs, or key performance indicators. And if I looked at my body like a business with key performance indicators, you would say, my business has a very good KPIs. I'm very proud of my KPIs. I like them. Even in my day job, I keep KPIs and I like them. But for my health, my KPIs are bad. They are not good. And we're talking health numbers, lab results, stuff like that. They're just not, a lot of them are fine. Let's note that there are a lot of things that are not bad. But there are enough things that are not good to have my attention. More so than normal. And that's something I'm thinking about changing. And it's kind of a weird way to look at it, but if it's what motivates you, then do what motivates you and follow the path to motivation. Because that, with health, that's kind of a lot of your issue, is finding the motivation. It's very hard for me when I can walk in with my corporate credit card and have a cheeseburger and fries and a beer. Why the heck wouldn't I? And the reason I wouldn't is because I'm trying to work on a KPI. I want to see improvement. And I'm going to retest the KPIs in some months and hope for better results. I don't think that's a recipe for being miserable, necessarily. At least I hope not. But like any success in business, anywhere else, it comes with sacrifice. So I suppose I need to make some sacrifices to see the improvement that I would like to see in various metrics. And there are a lot of metrics. And the problems with having multiple metrics that need improvement is the corrective actions really stack up. If you want to improve your good cholesterol, do you do this? If you want to improve your bad cholesterol, you do that. If you want to improve your blood sugar, do that. There's just a lot of... So when you stack all those things up, I think there's something else, cholesterol levels, blood pressure levels. It's just a lot of things to have to juggle at one time. And the consequences to your lifestyle become noticeable. Almost to the point that it might not be realistic. And that's what I've got to ask myself is, what is a realistic path for me, and what does it look like? Do you throw in the towel and take the drugs? Oh, and weight. Let's not forget weight. So what do? Do you just quit eating bread and hope that fixes it? Cut out alcohol, hope that fixes it? I mean, the fact of the matter is, there's a very good chance that these efforts can fail. There's a very good chance that I spend the next few months really sacrificing my diet and not seeing adequate and substantial change. So is it worth it? I don't know. If I could take the money that I would spend on vegetables and better food, spend it on a weight loss drug, is that better? I don't have the answers. What does that do to my KPIs? You know, I can take a drug for weight, I can take a drug for cholesterol, I can take a drug for blood pressure, and then maybe that just solves everything in some messed up theory. And then I can still eat what I want, or whatever the drugs let me find appetizing. I mean, there are no true shortcuts to good KPIs, because if you get them, if you take a shortcut, you're going to rob Peter to pay Paul. That's a principle I live by all the time. If you want to improve your financial performance with short-term sacrifice, well, somebody down the line is going to have to make up for that sacrifice. So it's not actually adding value, or, you know what I mean? I mean, people, especially in business, they, you know, well, let's not order paper this month, so this quarter looks good, and we'll just buy the paper next month. Well, next month, you know, it doesn't fix anything. It's not adding any actual value. It's just doctoring the numbers. So is this number doctoring, or is this holistic doctoring? These are the questions to ask. This is a really weird tangent to have gone on today, but you know, it's Monday. We're Super Bowl champions. We just don't have a lot of things to worry about, right? I mean, did I win the game? No. Was I even in Las Vegas? No. I wore the quarterback's number on my shirt. Does that count? Somehow it does. Watch these folks lost their butts while my health went to the crapper. Somehow I'm supposed to feel good today? How does that work? Oh boy. It's 37 degrees and I'm not wearing a jacket. I have fit, I don't know, something like 9 outfits, 3 pairs of shoes into my carry-on bag. And I don't know if it will fit in the overhead bin. This is like a huge source of anxiety for me this morning, because I've never done something this stupid. But I guess I could check the bag today, pick it up in my city. I still have the problem tomorrow. I don't know. So my plan is to go to the back of the plane, try to fit it. If it doesn't fit, like frantically take out my jacket, put my jacket on, you know, do whatever I can to help it fit in the dark bin. Things we do. So I might get a newer aircraft where it fits, and then I have to get into an older aircraft where maybe it won't fit. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I hate to be that guy, but I'm definitely that guy today, and it gives me a little anxiety. And everybody will be thinking, why didn't you just check your bag? Why didn't you, I think it all the time about other people. Why didn't you check your bag? What's wrong with you? My bag's like 50 pounds, it's very heavy. Much heavier than normal. What they don't know is that I'm using a different airline tomorrow, and I don't want to check a bag on it because I'll probably never see it again. And I really need my stuff. Now, will it fit in the bin on that airline? Ooh, anybody's guess. But I'm crossing my fingers. These are the first world problems of our lives. My belly's too big from all my good food. And my cholesterol's too high from all my good food. Cry me a river. So this is the same intersection we saw that crash last time. I think this truck's gonna go before we do. Just a guess. Yeah. Interesting load there. Jacuzzi tubs. You don't see that every day. Now we know how they're transported. Interesting office building over here to my left. I think a lot of attorneys have offices there. Pretty affordable rent. Just a little far from my house. So this isn't actually a 30-minute drive. I just had to be on the phone for 10 or 15 of it. Oh no, and I dropped my reservation paper and it's down there with all the other reservation papers. So now I gotta figure out which one is the one for today because I travel so doggone much. This is gonna be fun, y'all. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I picked one up and it says February 5. That's the wrong one. So I gotta reach all the way down. And buckle for this adventure. How are you this morning?
I am awesome. Parked with us before?
Oh, yes.
All right. Thanks for choosing us again. Here you go. And then this is going to be your first two at the gate that I'm going to send to Double Echo. So if I can get you to go all the way down to that W there in between V and W, you're going to make a right. Keep going all the way to the back. You're going to see double E.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you. Have a good day. E and W down to double E. Boy, watch out there, big bus. Now this van is going to follow me, and I hope he doesn't get too close, because that always messes up my ability to. It messes up my ability to sometimes get maneuvered into the space. Probably going, man, he is right on me too. It's like he's gonna watch me. Maybe this was double E, double D. We like that one. Is this a spot? It's not covered. Let's get greedy. Oh, we did get greedy. The driver's like, what are you doing, man? Okay, we're just gonna go right here. Good shape, y'all. All right. Well, we are at 2-6. Oh, that's a big truck. I don't know what they do here. Tight one. 265, 67.